But let me come back to the situation where you are the one that's suffering their rejection. They are leaving, or they forced you out. They are rejecting and you're the object of the rejection. But don't pursue a reaction that does tit for tat, rejects them. You are still offering such things as they can have. Let me think about this a sec. Well, you are not rejecting them, but you will not do certain things that are not appropriate in their rejection. I mean, if a person's left you, you're not going to continue to make love to them when they want it. That would be a strange thing. If they are the one rejecting you, you're not going to continue to give what you can, where the giving as such is not received in the right way. They don't ask or they don't say thank you when you do offer. In other words, their rejection has created a new situation. You're suddenly now in a relationship that trades. When you're ill, I come to look after you. I check that you are okay. Is there anything I can get you? Even though you've rejected me. Because you're in great need at the minute and you can't do anything but need. Now, if despite, your rejection of me, you're still supporting me in some way, typically the situation is, say the wife has got children and the husband is ex-husband now, I suppose you'd say, or suspended husband, self-suspended, is supporting you in some way financially. Well, you recognise this as a help, a benefit, despite the fact they rejected you. You're not sure whether they're doing this of their free will or because the law requires it. You don't have to give the money back. You can do if you don't need it, if you want to, but you don't need to. And you don't need to give it back to them if they ask either. It's all part and parcel of their rejection. They don't benefit from you there. They've walked away. If they're depriving you of their presence in your life, by walking away from you, you don't compensate them for their actions. Their need is not to have a priority over what they have deprived themselves of by leaving, by rejecting you. That's as regards giving. You can still trade with them as you would with anyone else in the street. I'll look after the child when you're at a meeting if you look after a child when I'm at mine. I'll do things that are helpful to you if you're doing things that are helpful to me. Sufficient in a trading position for us both to feel better off by the trade. Otherwise you have no obligation to trade. Do you see, in a giving sense, we have an exaggerated idea of what we should give. I don't simply mow the chap's lawn next door because his grass needs mowing. Even if he asks me, I may say, well, it's not my lawn, mate. I mean, it's up to you to mow your lawn. If, on the other hand, he's sick and he can't mow the lawn, that's different. I'll come and do that for you, mate. Don't worry about it. No problem. I'll mow your lawn. In other words, I'm here to come to your rescue. I'm not here to simply keep making your life better than it would otherwise be. was a committed marriage relationship and you decommitted yourself. Got to live with that. If you prefer the committed situation, come back. I'm so happy to have you on those terms. But you're not at the minute. That's why you're staying away. In other words, if you have rejected, I'm not in open commitment to you until you stop rejecting. You know, it's similar thing to Jesus says, which of you convinceth me of sin, meaning none of you have a valid cause. Now you will be checking yourself to see, well, did they have a valid cause? Was I always negative with them? Was I terrible to them? You know, did I waste all the money and not do what? Was I not loving, quite simply? I say, no, I was loving. I mean, had my faults, but not that broke the relationship. Do you see? Look, you're not here to improve the standard of living of the man next door or the stranger on the street. You're not in fellowship with the entire world. Do you realize that? Ideal godly spiritual fellowship is what we envisage for the host of heaven, where we give to all spontaneously according to their need. You can't do that on this planet. You would go down to a standard of living that you would find intolerable, because the average need is on or below subsistence level. You're not asked to do that. You're simply asked to be a neighbour to him that's in dire distress. Jesus wasn't going around doing the housework for the families next door. Wasn't spending all night making clothing for those that didn't have enough clothing. Didn't go through the entire country healing everybody. He healed for a specific reason, that it might contribute to his ministry, which is he's sent to declare that God is your heavenly Father, and for you to hear it. Do you see? He wasn't dealing with the trivia. In fact, he wasn't actually rescuing everyone in the world that was in dire straits. Just those that came to him, that came into his sphere of influence. He didn't go off to check, anyone who needed his help in all the other countries of the world. He lived a very localized life in the story. He had the power to put right and meet their requests, so he did. He must have passed many, many people that were ill that he didn't put right and heal. Only those that asked, those that came to him. And the healing was pretty major. Blindness, lame since birth or something. Deaf to hear and so forth. really major things. He didn't come and clean your house for you. You see? I mean, you can do these things if you want to show you love someone, because you're in fellowship. And you will do it. It's not that you're going to only do crisis work with any other person. Those that you're close to, in true relationship with, you will help each other spontaneously, not trade. The rest of the world you trade with. Do you see? We have a very poor understanding of what it is to be a loving person. You see, what is it to treat a person as a heathen man if he's thrown out of fellowship? He's out of fellowship. Oh. If he's the stranger in your camp, in other words, you're not committed to him, you're still to treat him in a good way in the Jewish understanding of things. But if he chooses not to be in your camp, and he is a stranger, well, you have no obligation to be concerned for his welfare, except the fact that you're sent. You're sent to do what? To improve his welfare? No. To specifically tell him that the kingdom of heaven has drawn nigh, is at hand, in the sense that God is his heavenly Father. And if he receives that understanding that God is his Father, he can be saved. Not to mow the lawn for you. You may choose to mow the lawn because in that way, the person will listen to you. Okay. If that fits and they're happy about this. But remember, you are alien to each other. He's not in fellowship with you because you're mowing his lawn. You're not embracing him in fellowship because his God is not your God. Be ye separate. Do you see? What we think of as a good Christian person is probably this medieval monk that goes out and does everybody's lawn. And Marshall realised he is in danger of falling into this. It's got nothing to do with God and is achieving nothing at all other than mowing people's lawns. No need for him to do that. It's not what he's sent to do. Not deliberately connected with my being sent. What am I sent to do? Tell them that God is their heavenly Father. If they don't want to hear it, well, that's okay. I'll move on. Someone who's rejected you is not in fellowship with you. Stop treating them as if they're in fellowship with you, Marshall. You need to hear this. Oh. Thank you, Dad.